Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. What do you do when nobody believes in you? What do you do when the world stays silent while your dreams scream inside your soul? Most people quit. Most people fold under pressure. But legends rise alone and win loud. Today I want to talk about a mindset that changed millions of lives, the Nipsey Hussle mindset. A mindset built on patience, discipline, sacrifice, loyalty, and relentless self-belief. This is not just motivation. This is survival. This is transformation. This is what happens when a human being refuses to stay average. Let me ask you something powerful. What do you do when your vision is loud in your mind but silent in the world? When you can clearly see your future but nobody else claps, nobody else supports, and nobody else believes it's possible? This is where everything begins. The Nipsey Hussle mindset teaches that belief in yourself is not just confidence, it is survival. Because if you don't believe in your own direction, the world will easily redirect you into mediocrity. There will be moments when your ideas feel too big for the room you are standing in. People will question you, not because you're Reem is weak, but because their thinking is limited. And here is the truth most people never understand. Doubt from others is not a stop sign, it is a filter. It separates those who talk from those who build. If you can stay committed when nobody validates you, you are already ahead of the majority who depend on approval to move. Think about this deeply. Every great achiever started in silence. No applause, no spotlight, just internal conviction. That inner voice saying, keep going, even when external voices say, give up. This is where discipline meets identity. You are not waiting to become someone great, you are proving it through action every single day. And here's the hook you need to carry with you. If your belief breaks under pressure, your dream was never strong enough. But if your belief grows stronger in isolation, nothing can stop you from becoming what you were meant to be. The world does not reward hesitation, it rewards certainty, persistence, and self-trust. So when nobody believes in you, don't slow down. Don't explain yourself. Don't seek permission. Instead, lock in deeper, move smarter, and let your consistency speak louder than any opinion ever could. Get something clear right now. Success is not built in moments of excitement. It is built in moments of repetition when nobody is watching and nobody is clapping. The Nipsey Hussle mindset makes one thing obvious. Patience is not passive waiting, it is active discipline over time. And this is where most people fail. They want results without endurance. Ask yourself honestly, why do most people quit just before things start working? Because they underestimate time. They think success should respond instantly to effort, but real growth operates differently. Like a seed underground, nothing looks visible at first, but that doesn't mean nothing is happening. Progress is silent before it becomes powerful. And if you cannot respect the process, you will never experience the outcome. Here is the hook you need to remember. What feels slow today is actually building speed for your future. Every small step you take, every skill you sharpen, every failure you survive is stacking momentum you cannot see yet. The problem is not that success is delayed, the problem is that people quit before their consistency compounds. Discipline is what separates dreams from reality. When motivation disappears, discipline stays. When excitement fades, discipline continues. When others take breaks, discipline keeps building. That is why consistency is more valuable than intensity. Intensity burns fast, but consistency builds empires. And think about this deeply. Nobody becomes great in public. Greatness is always constructed in private, in repetition and boring routines that most people avoid. Nipsey Hussle understood this truth. He didn't chase shortcuts, he respected time. He understood that every day you stay committed, you are depositing into a future version of yourself that will eventually cash out everything. So when progress feels slow, don't mistake it for failure. Slow progress is still progress. Quiet effort is still effort. And invisible growth is still growth. The only real failure is stopping before time reveals what your consistency was building all along. Let me hit you with a reality check. Most people are not lacking talent, they are lacking consistency when things stop feeling easy. The Nipsey Hussle mindset makes it clear that discipline is the bridge between intention and achievement. Motivation might introduce you to the journey, but discipline is what carries you. You through it when everything inside you wants to stop. Ask yourself this: what happens when the excitement fades? When nobody is cheering? When results are not showing up fast enough? This is the moment where most people collapse, not because the goal is impossible, but because their habits were never strong enough to sustain pressure. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when your emotions disagree. That is the difference between amateurs and builders of legacy. Here's a hook you must hold on to. Motivation is emotional, but discipline is identity. If you rely on how you feel, you will always be inconsistent. But if you rely on who you are becoming, you become unstoppable. Because identity does not negotiate with excuses. Identity shows up even when conditions are uncomfortable. Think about it deeply. Every successful person has one thing in common: they trained themselves to act without waiting for the perfect mood. They did not wait for inspiration, they created results through repetition. That is why discipline feels hard at first, but over time it becomes your strongest advantage. What once required effort eventually becomes your standard. And here is the truth nobody wants to hear. Your future is not decided by your big decisions, but by your small daily habits. What you repeat becomes who you are. If you repeat discipline, you build power. If you repeat excuses, you build limitation. Nipsey Hussle understood this at a deep level. He wasn't chasing temporary motivation. He was building permanent structure in his life. And that is the shift you must make. Stop depending on feelings and start depending on systems. Because feelings change every day, but discipline systems build results that last for life. Let's talk about something most people run away from: pain. The moment life gets uncomfortable, the average person looks for escape. But the Nipsey Hussle mindset teaches something completely different. Pain is not punishment. It is data. It is feedback. It is direction. And if you learn how to interpret it correctly, pain becomes one of your greatest teachers instead of your greatest enemy. Ask yourself this: what if every failure you experience was not a stop sign, but a redirection? What if every setback was actually building strength you cannot gain in comfort? Most people never unlock their potential because they avoid the very thing that develops it. Growth does not happen in comfort zones. It happens in pressure zones. It happens when things break, when plans fail, when expectations collapse and you choose to continue anyway. Here is a hook you need to remember. Pain does not destroy you. Your reaction to pain defines you. Two people can go through the same struggle. One breaks, the other builds. The difference is not the situation, it is the mindset. One sees pain as an ending, the other sees it as raw material for growth. Think deeply about this. Every failure carries hidden instructions. It shows you what doesn't work. It exposes weaknesses. It reveals gaps in preparation. But only those who stay in the game long enough get to decode those lessons. The majority quit at the message instead of learning the meaning behind it. And here is the truth nobody likes to accept. The strongest versions of you are always built after the hardest seasons. Not before them, not during comfort, but after you survive what was meant to break you. That is why resilience is more valuable than talent. Talent can start you, but resilience finishes you. Nipsey Hussle understood this principle deeply. He didn't avoid struggle. He extracted value from it. He turned adversity into awareness and setbacks into strategy. And that is the shift you must make. Stop asking why pain is happening and start asking what pain is building inside you. Because what hurts you today might be exactly what strengthens you for tomorrow. Let's be honest for a moment. Most people are chasing money, but very few are thinking about meaning. They want quick success, fast recognition, and temporary validation. But they forget something powerful. Everything that rises fast without foundation eventually collapses just as fast. The Nipsey Hussle mindset challenges this thinking completely. It shifts your focus from temporary gains to permanent impact, from consumption to creation, from chasing status to building substance. Ask yourself this: what is the point of success if it disappears the moment you stop working? Real success is not measured by what you earn in a moment, but by what continues to grow when you are no longer in the room. That is legacy. Legacy is when your actions outlive your presence, when your work continues to speak long after your voice becomes silent. Here is a hook you need to lock into your mind. Money gives your lifestyle, but legacy gives you immortality. One fades with time, the other multiplies with time. And if your only focus is income, you are building something temporary. But if your focus is impact, you are building something timeless. Think about it deeply. Every meaningful creator in history was obsessed with contribution, not just consumption. They asked, what am I building that will still matter after me? That question changes everything. It forces discipline. It forces responsibility. It forces long-term thinking in a world addicted to shortcuts. And here is the truth most people ignore. Chasing money without purpose leads to emptiness, but building purpose with money creates power. Nipsey Hussle understood this balance. He didn't just want success for himself, he wanted to uplift others, create opportunities, and leave systems behind that could sustain generations. That is why his impact still grows beyond his lifetime. So when you think about success, don't just think about what you can take from the world. Think about what you can leave in it. Because titles fade, trends change, and attention disappears, but legacy becomes a footprint that time cannot erase. Let's talk about the moment that defines everything, the silent phase. The phase where nobody claps for you, nobody notices you, and nobody believes you are becoming something greater. This is where most people break. But the Nipsey Hussle mindset teaches a different rule. Entirely real winners are not built in the spotlight. They are built in isolation. Because before the world ever hears your success, you must first survive your silence. Ask yourself this: can you continue when there is no external reward? Can you keep going when progress is invisible? Can you stay focused when everyone else doubts your direction? This is the true test. Not talent, not resources, but endurance in obscurity. The ability to stay consistent when there is zero recognition is what separates temporary effort from lifelong greatness. Here is a hook you must remember. Silence is not emptiness, it is preparation. While the world is not watching, your habits are shaping your identity. While people are ignoring you, your discipline is building your future. And while others are distracted, you are stacking the foundation of your breakthrough. Think deeply about this. Every powerful success story has a hidden C. Chapter called Nobody Knew Me Then. That chapter is where character is formed. That is where resilience is tested. That is where self-belief either collapses or becomes unshakable. Because when you are forced to rely only on yourself, you discover how strong you actually are. And here is the truth most people avoid. Public success is just the result of private consistency. What you see in the spotlight is only the reflection of unseen sacrifices. Nipsey Hussle understood this deeply. He embraced the quiet years, the slow growth, and the unseen grind. He trusted the process even when the process gave him nothing back immediately. So when you feel alone in your journey, don't mistake it for failure. It is actually alignment. You are not being forgotten, you are being forged. And if you can master the art of rising in silence, then when your moment finally arrives, your success will not whisper, it will shake everything around you.